Welcome to the Snarky Teacher podcast. This is MrsRhodesMath, yours truly from TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, your favorite math teacher. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about things I wish I knew before becoming a teacher. Just to give some background, so I did not take the traditional route to become a teacher. Um, I originally went to school to do IT project management, and then somehow found my way to a middle school classroom. But nonetheless, there's things I wish I had known ahead of time. I don't know if I would have made a different decision, but at least I would have been armed with information. So let's dive in. First thing I think I wish I should have known is being a teacher would become my identity, and I feel like that resonates with a lot of people because, it sucked. It's like when you become a teacher, everybody is like, oh, well, you're a teacher, so you can't do this. And there's so many things that are defined for you that become suddenly like off limits, like having a drink or hanging out in clubs or going to bars, wearing a swimsuit. Oh my gosh, not a two-piece. And don't ever let it be like a bikini thong or something like that. Like, absolutely not allowed. Tattoos, facial piercings, colored hair. Oh my goodness. The list goes on of things that just like become suddenly banned because I signed a teaching contract, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is. So we'll move on. Next one, teaching is expensive. I've talked about this numerous times on various TikTok videos, y'all. Teaching is expensive. Like, you have to pay for your own life and like your classroom. So it's almost like you're paying for like two houses. I cannot tell you the thousands of dollars that I've pumped into my classrooms over the years. And it's like the kids don't bring supplies. So you also have like these extra kids that you have to pay for, which you do it because you care about the kids, but it's still expensive. So if you're going to become a teacher, prepare your pockets. Um, Next is the amount of work done outside of work in order to be prepared for work when you get to work because there's no time to work at work. My goodness. So no planning time, no bathroom breaks, no bathroom breaks. Can I talk today? No. Um, so not editing that out. So okay, I'll stop digressing over it. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, no breaks. um, it's rough. Um, Yeah. Inside of like your during school hours, like your contract hours, you spend those working, but then not working on like the things that you need to be working on. And then after work is when you work on the stuff that you should have probably done during the school day, but you didn't get a chance to because there's the IEP meetings and the staff meetings and the professional developments that are scheduled in the middle of the day, or the fire drills, all the other drills, active shooter drills, um, all the things, all the things that have to be done throughout the day that are quite honestly annoying in some cases because it's like the amount of things that teachers are just asked to do, that list keeps growing. Like, my to-do list gets longer and longer and longer every year, like the list of responsibilities, but the amount of time allotted just seems like it keeps disappearing. So I'm always baffled when I ask the question like, so when am I supposed to do this? And people look at me like, oh. And quick story, I actually, and if you follow me on TikTok, you might know this one already, but a couple of years ago, we get our schedules in the beginning of the school year, to let us know like which schedule rotation we're going to be on. In this particular year, my grade level had middle of the day connections, which means that my planning period was pretty much like after lunch. So, which was great. Like, that part was great. So had our planning middle of the day, but then Monday there was like these meetings about students that you were supposed to have with your teaching team. And then Tuesdays and like Thursday or Fridays were like your curriculum team and then like your grade level teams. And then Wednesdays were like staff development, or you might have to cover a class. So literally that's 5 days. 5 days. So my planning for 5 days out of the week was gone. And that was supposed to be scheduled for the whole year. So I spoke to my admin after like getting all my courage up, you know, how you have to like psych yourself up. It's so lame. Like I'm a whole ass adult, but I was still nervous. So anyway, went to my admin. I was like, hey, so me and some of the other teachers are feeling like, hey, this is a bit much because there's just not a lot, like there's no time left in order for us to accomplish the things that we still need to accomplish every day. Well, I was told, well, sometimes, and I was like, and I really, oh, the thing was, and I said, I want to make sure that I can get all the work that I'm required to do and get my planning done during my contracted hours. So that's the ticket, right? And I was told sometimes we have to make sacrifices and basically you have to do what you got to do. So if it means you have to take work home, you have to take work home. And I was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So I picked a day and I just had a day that I just didn't show up to the meetings. That didn't last long. They ended up changing it because I just couldn't do it. Like they didn't change it for me, but anyways, it was changed because your girl could not. It was just too much. Anyway, uh, summer break is for naps. Every summer break, it takes like 2 weeks to recover from teaching. Like if you when you teach 9 months out the year, and then you get to like June, that first week of June when school gets out in May, that first week, you have to sleep for like 2 weeks because your body is exhausted and you literally have to catch up from the level of exhaustion that you had. Like your body is so sleep deprived and so tired and so like starved for rest, and your brain is exhausted because you've been going for 9 months. So now it's almost like giving birth and like the first nap. I know like people who've given birth, like y'all might feel me on this, but that first nap after you've given birth, it feels so good. And then you're just like back to work. It's something I don't know. I don't have another way to explain it, but ultimately you just need like 2 weeks of rest. So like if you're gonna go on a summer vacation, don't plan it for the first 2 weeks after school gets out. And then try not to schedule any of your professional developments during the summer because the school districts will do it for you anyway, which I think is like so tacky. Like don't take my summer. You know, like come on, give me a break. Anyway, no breaks for teachers. Um Increased bladder capacity. So I didn't know this was a thing, but it is a thing. And I also feel like this is an ick because that just makes you look like chunkier. It makes you look a little fatter because your bladder is so big from holding pee pee all day. Literally. You've been holding urine for 9 hours because when can you pee? Because you can't leave the kids unattended and you really can't control like when you gotta go, you know, like when you go, you gotta go. You just gotta go, right? But you can't do that when you're a teacher. You just gotta hold it. So you just gotta like be dehydrated all day. So if you take medication that requires you to drink water, don't take it. That's probably not a great suggestion. So do what you got to do. However, just letting you know, if you walk into like, if you decide that this is the life you want to choose, I just want you to know that your bladder is going to expand and you may have urinary issues later. I just want you to know that because teacher reality here. No lies here. No lying here. Um, let's see. Oh my God, diminishing mental health. Like there is literally a teacher mental health crisis. Literally. Literally. I can't tell you the number of panic attacks I've had at the start of the school year. I actually had my first like panic attack at school. Didn't even know that I had those. Didn't know I had any issues like that. But your girl was tripping out, was losing her mind. I thought I was going crazy. Like quite literally, it was the craziest experience. If you've never had a panic attack, cannot even explain it to you. I just couldn't breathe, couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't make things make sense. But yes, therapy. Go ahead and budget that in. Therapy, like weekly sessions. If you can do it online, great, but get you a good therapist because you're going to need it. And go ahead and expand that medicine cabinet because it will be full because you're a teacher. Um, let's see. Constantly being gaslit, which is also really annoying because, well, like, why are you lying to me? And why are you lying to me while I know you're lying? So, in other words, what we're talking about is when people say, you're doing it for the kids. No, teaching is a job and I'm doing it for a paycheck because I'm broke and I need money. That's what it is. No one wakes up and decides, I want to stand in a classroom full of 37 kids, and this is the choice of my life. This is the choice. Like, and I teach middle school. That's the choices I'm like, okay, I did do that. Like, let's not even front. That's literally what I did. But that's not the point. The point is that people in general public that don't understand how education works, that don't understand, like, hey, there's real issues here, they don't hear it. And then you'll have administrators and district leaders and stuff tell you, like, oh, we're in it for the outcome, not the income. No, I need a check, you know? Or I need like fair hours here. Like I need time to do the work. I don't want to work on weekends anymore. I don't want to work nights and weekends like old singular. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so gaslighting. People are going to tell you things are great and try to make you feel like it's supposed to be good, even though it's not good. It's bad. So don't confuse good with bad. Um, Teaching can take a toll on your entire family. One of these days, I will make a video about like my actual story, but the synopsis is this. Literally, so I have two kids. If you don't know already, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, I'm sorry. Praise break. Anyway, so my kids thought it was cool that I was going to be teaching. The first year I was teaching was great. Um, but then I wouldn't even say they made it the first year. It was cool until it wasn't cool because I was bringing so much work home. Like, there's always the learning curve in the beginning when you're a teacher and you bring out your work home and you're trying to catch up because you're trying to understand what's going on. Like, that's the reality because there's no teacher preparation program, whether you go traditional route or non-traditional, that's really preparing you to be in the classroom. And when you go non-traditional, you literally go into the classroom and then get certified. So there's that. So you have no clue, and then you're trying to get a clue why you're actively not having a clue. I digress. That's a whole nother problem. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is my kids were cool. They were like, okay, this is great. This is wonderful. Mom's gonna be a teacher. She can help with our homework and everything. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. So I was missing games. I was missing appointments. I couldn't pick my kids up after school because the hours that I was working, whether I was at the school or at home, I would have to literally take my bag and laptop like everywhere because I was constantly grading, constantly emailing parents, constantly I was constantly connected to work. Not a good look. Like, it wasn't good. Don't do that. Set boundaries. Stick by them. That's side note. That's my tip. Um, okay. Next one. How broken the system is. That's something I wish I knew. Because even as a parent prior to becoming a teacher, I didn't know. I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know. I just didn't know it was this bad. And what I mean by is the way that money is dispersed, the way that schools are funded, the way that teachers are treated and disregarded, the way that students are just kind of like counted, but there's just so many things. Um, the way that normal human decency is discarded, and then the way the general public just kind of looks at you and says, you don't really matter. Just do what I say. Like the number of comments I get that say things like, we don't need teachers anyway. I'll teach my own kids. Well, if you're teaching your kids, aren't you a teacher at that moment? Like, by definition, just curious when people say that. I just always thought it was really weird. Then there's the whole school choice thing and how we're trying to the voucher programs and just crazy stuff. Then the whole CRT gig, it's a hot mess, y'all. Like, for real, it's a hot mess. And the system just needs to be fixed from K through 12 and college level at this point. It's a whole dumpster fire. Anyway, moving on because that's a whole episode in itself. Not all parents or teachers care. Again, I could probably tell you 10 stories, but we won't do that today. Yeah, I've encountered well, we all know parents they don't all give a crap. So just mentally prepare for that. Mentally prepare to be the only one fighting in a student's corner, the only one who's being nice to them, the only person who cares about whether they pass or not. You quite literally might be the only positive voice in the room. You might even have coworkers who also just don't give a crap. And they're just like, I'm just here because I'm here and because I can be here. Because I don't have anything else to do all day. I just want to torture these poor little children. There are people that way. Those people exist. And I think I don't know what's worse is like a teacher in a classroom that just doesn't care, or a parent at home that doesn't care. I don't know. Or like an apathetic student, because they're doing that to themselves. But anyways, we can get all into like parents encouraging their students, but we don't have to do that today. Yet again, just throwing it out there. It's a tough job. And yeah, sometimes you're the only person that's doing something good for this kid. Lastly, this is probably like a good one. Like, I'm not trying to leave you with like this feel good feeling, but maybe I am, so you'll like subscribe, you know? But they don't really prepare you for like how big your heart grows for people that you had nothing to do with like raising. You get them, like if you're in middle school setting and high school setting, you get them for like an hour a day, but you literally start to love these little boogers. And I call them boogers because I don't know. They come in all shapes and sizes, but they're salty. You know what I'm saying? Like a nasty little booger. You know what I mean? They're still weird. Like middle schoolers, they act like big toddlers. And I've actually had a few that do eat boogers. I don't know if that grossed you out, my bad, but get prepared for that too as a teacher. Like they're gonna do weird stuff, share lollipops and applesauce. Like it's a weird road out there. These kids do some stuff, but for the most part, you still love them. They're so cute. They're so sweet, even the middle schoolers, and no one really prepares you for how much you care about them, how much you want to see them succeed, how much you want to see them, just take over the world and see what their future is going to be like. And you start to think about, in 20 years, 30 years, you hope they remember you, and that you've given them good guidance, and that you've left a lasting impression, a positive mark, if you will, in their life, like a little ray of sunshine in a gloomy day. Like that's what you want to be, because these children, they're the future. I know that felt good, didn't it? It felt, almost made a teardrop. If you could see me, I was doing a fake tear thing. Anyway, so yep, that's one. And you never forget them. That's the thing. Anyways, so those are the things that I wish I knew before becoming a teacher and being thrown into a classroom. And I think I would have just been a little bit more prepared. I probably still would have done it. But if after everything I've just said, you feel like, yes, I want to sign the dotted line and be a broke teacher that doesn't have any money and can't eat or pee and never has time and doesn't have a social life because you don't have time for that, then do it. But if you don't think that that's the life for you, if you can't stomach it, then maybe it's okay. It has to be okay. It's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because life ain't for everybody. But it's worth it if you can do it. Maybe. I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. A lot of teachers quit. Anyways, that's not the point. If you feel like it's for you, do it. If it's in your heart, do it. But if one of those things I just said is like, never mind, then it's not for you. I'm just saying, like, would I suggest that someone become a teacher? Absolutely not. But then again, I've been wrong a few times in my life. Not many, but a few. Anyways, I can digress. So instead of me rattling on, how about you make sure you hit the subscribe button, follow me on my YouTube channel, hit me up on TikTok, and don't forget to check out The Real Teachers of Atlanta. Have a great evening. Goodbye.